my doubts, I would say, to be honest, my doubts on just Chris Paul trying to fit into our system. And for what I've seen, it has worked beautifully.
Post Rockets James has not completely impressed me. I think he's more capable than he is competent. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he might have a 40-point game, but usually he's not going to have that. You know what I'm saying? I could expect that.
I think as we had mentioned Wemby earlier, it's also right that we mentioned Chet. The kid is what averaging like 16 and like 2.5 blocks with like a couple boards. So like he's doing pretty good, and that's what I like seeing out of these young cats. Like
So, hey, I'm icing the game like a free throw. I love when she talking the lingo. Wanna fuck on the freako. She says she bringing the Tito's. We hacking the game like a Chico. I'm a monster, it's time for the beast mode. Cracking your skulls like Debo. Straight to the strip, all singles. They peeping straight through the peephole. You a lame, you a dork, and bimbo. Oh yes, sir. Oh yes, sir. It's your boy Twan. We back. This is episode 4 of the OffTopic podcast. Today, I have to introduce my guests for today. We got my homeboy Josh, my boy Jamaelo. Y'all can say what's up.
What's up?
yo,
What's happening? What's happening?
it's good.
So today we're just going to just take this time just to talk about the NBA opening week so far. We know we do understand as we're saying this, these teams are only about 4 to 5 games in so far. So everything we're saying can change in 2 weeks or so. But we're going to go ahead and start. So the question I want to ask for just this episode, what have we seen so far that has impressed us with any team? I'm just going to start off on the East side so we can kind of keep it in the family. But either you or Josh, if you guys want to jump on that, we're going to start on the East for this segment.
Josh, you wanna take a swing at it first?
Yes, because the Boston Celtics just smoked the Indiana Pacers by 51 points. All the starters were sitting by the third quarter. And I think the most impressive part about that is the change of cast. Like, we have new players. It's like a new team dynamic, and we're only 4 games in and have already found so much chemistry. I am surprised because I did not, and I apologize if he ever hears this. I don't think he will, but I didn't really trust Joe Mazzulla like that. But I think he put the right staff around him and put the right people on the roster to make his plan work. So kudos to him.
I'm probably going to jump on Boston too, but if you want to go ahead and say something, Melo, you go ahead.
No, absolutely, man. I think when we're talking about teams in the NBA, Boston is one of the first teams, to come to any and everybody's mind. Anybody that knows ball knows the Celtics. They're the hottest team right now. I think it's them in the East. They're the only undefeated team in the East.
Yep.
And then in the West we got the Mavericks. So that loss the win last night against the Pacers just really goes to show like how lethal they are. Like I know what was that big thing is, just adding Porzingis and Drew Holiday. They got a big 4, and it's like it's a situation in which you got to really pick your poison, man, where it's like, do you really want to double Tatum and have Drew Holiday on ready for a 3, or Jaylen Brown ready to attack the rim, or Porzingis ready to attack or shoot? So they just have so many weapons.
Yeah.
I like how they look. I was gonna say I'm already ready for the in-season tournament to see how they're gonna do. So
Yeah.
No, I definitely think that Boston is probably going to be not just the dominant team in the East, but dominant team just power rankings over just across the NBA. I think they should be talked about further down the line as well too, just depending on if they continue to have a great consistency of but to have a great start like this in the very beginning of the season is very important. Moving on into every part of the season, but I think Boston has started off very well. I guess I wanted to throw out Milwaukee, and just I guess now that I'm seeing Boston in a different light, I think I would probably adjust a bit. A 7-game series between Milwaukee and Boston, I think I would adjust it even by almost giving the edge over to Boston, saying 4-2. Just as of right now, I would throw the edge over on 4-2. But if you guys want to say anything about Milwaukee, how do you guys feel? I know this is still early. I think that Dame and Giannis can still get it figured out and get it going way later in the season. I expect them to be in the conference finals. But what do you guys think so far?
I'll let you take that one first, Melo, because you let me get the last one.
Oh yeah, for sure. So with Milwaukee, like I said, their debut, Dame's debut, 40 out the gate, or 39, whatever it was. So it's already he's already putting the world on notice, and it just kind of like shows how dynamic, how dominant that duo can really be. I know they've had their like recent struggles. I think they got, what was it, like they were getting 20 piece by the Hawks. I think they just lost to the Raptors, if I'm not mistaken. But they're taking some L's, but I think that's more so like the learning, like just the beginning, everybody trying to mesh, get right with one another. But I feel like by the time playoffs come around, they're going to be really well polished. And yeah, no, that's another team I can't wait to see the battle in the East, because those are the two teams, man. I feel like it's going to be Boston and Milwaukee, and we're going to see who else comes after that, who else rises up to it. But right now, both
Yeah.
of those teams look really good.
Yeah, I agree. I saw somebody make a comment today. It said that the Bucks traded their shield for a sword, talking about
Mm,
game, and I was like,
mm,
wow, that's deep. So I think they did. They had a really big shield, and now they have a sword that it's not that. No, I almost said the wrong thing. That's still a sharp sword. Yeah, Dame is still really good, but I think what made the Bucks what they were was the fact that they were so incredibly good on defense as well as offense. Now they're just good at offense.
yeah. I mean, I still think a part of me still it doesn't count out the fact that Giannis is probably every year we talk about MVP. Giannis is literally, if not the first, second, he is the third person brought up. And I think that we still got to give him a little bit more credit on that end. And I think that just his presence on the floor on the defensive side, though, I do think that he covers way more ground. I think just his tenacity, his grit, his grind, his just he just doesn't slow down. His motor is always running. I think we should just go ahead and just ship over to the West real quick. I'm just gonna just throw out my first team. I'm kind of throwing a oop with this, but it'll be Dallas Mavericks right now. So far, they started off with the 4-0 stretch in the West. They are the undefeated team in the West right now.
Um, I saw the other day Luca had, I think it was an over 40-point game, and it was a double double. He had, I think, 10 assists, and he had no turnovers. It might have been more than 10 assists, but he had stats in every category. The fact that he can play at that level and last all year long is crazy to me. And then the second thing I want to say about them is I've heard, and I said this to you earlier, Twan, I haven't heard any drama about Kyrie in a long time. So I just think that they can do a whole lot if they all stay poised. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really all it takes for them. I don't know who their big man is right now, but I'm sure that's making a crazy difference.
Yo, they have this. Oh man, well, I'm gonna pull up the roster real fast, but they also have this young rookie, Lively.
Derek Lively from Duke.
Bro, I went
Lively.
Yeah.
to I went to the game, bro, and I seen him play live. Dog, they got a guy on their team, bro. I'm telling you, bro, he's gonna take over, and I think he's gonna be dominant like in the league, bro.
I think if anyone is excited for that, it is definitely Luca, because I feel like over the years just watching Luca play, I feel like his frustration has grown more and more with Dwight Powell as his big man. So I'm sure Derek Lively is like a breath of fresh air
Yeah,
for him, and that could be as to why they're doing so well, because they got like a legitimate center. Kyrie and Luca have more time to mesh well. They had the whole summer to kind of figure things out, and I think that's what we're seeing now. And then of course, can't forget the addition of Grant Williams
yep,
coming. That defense that they were missing last season when they traded for Kyrie, because as we all know, they were a playoff team, then they went to a play-in team, and then they weren't even in the
in the
play-in. So
playoff.
so it's just it's a big jump. I think they they picked up some good pieces, and I think they're going to continue to build. But it's a great start for them for sure.
Dallas is a good team. Do you guys want to go ahead and throw another team out there for the West?
I do think about the Suns. Like, do they have two losses right now?
Uh,
I believe so. I know they lost to the Spurs the other night when the
Right.
Spurs came back
right,
from being down 20. I
yeah,
know that one.
That's what I'm thinking about right now, and I think that was the second loss out of four
yeah. It's
games.
2-2. Yeah.
So I would never expect that from. Well, I didn't see who was playing and who wasn't. Were all their starters in?
Uh, no, Bradley and D Book was out during that game.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. So that's one of the things I'm thinking for these like high power, high performance teams is a lot of times they overload the starters and then there's no bench depth. So if anybody on your starting lineup, and especially if there's more than one, is hurt, then you might not win a game. So yeah, never mind. I was going to say I would expect more from them, but if the starters aren't playing, then I this is exactly what I expect.
You have anything, Mello, with the Suns?
With the Suns, man, it's interesting to see D Book at the one. Me personally, if anything that I would change with the Suns, of course, is to get a little bit more depth, but that's easier said than done. And the whole politics, financial part of it,
Yeah.
but I would love for them to go out and get a point guard just so because I feel like D Book, KD, Bradley, Bill, like they all aren't like a Kyrie or Harden where they like need the ball in their hand. They can play off ball.
Yeah.
So I think if you get yourself like a solid point guard that can like feed all of them, I think it'd be nice. But as far as what we've seen with D Book, and I think the 1 or 2 games he's played, I know he's out as well. It didn't look too bad opening night seeing him bringing the ball up. So I'm ready to see how they all play because I don't think we've seen Beal play yet
Yeah,
with
I
them.
don't think we have
So
yet. Yeah, we've yet to
Yeah.
see. So,
Yeah.
um,
I do have
yeah.
one more. I was so surprised to hear his name's Devin Vassell, the point guard for the Spurs.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
This
Yes.
man hooping. I did not know he could hoop like that.
bucket.
Yes.
That is truly wild. I think that makes them good enough to beat the Suns team. You know what I mean? Like obviously they have like that's crazy, but they have an actual point guard. He's like knocking down threes all over the court. That is
Mhm.
wild to me.
No, to switch up, to speak on San Antonio Spurs, I mentioned that I think that that is one of the teams that has impressed me so far. I like to think that this is a team that's going to sneak into the 7th or 8th spot in the playoffs. I feel like people still are not believing. The obvious is with Victor Wembanyama. Yes, the obvious is he needs to get bigger. Whatever. The kid is 19. He's in his first year of the NBA. Like those things are going to come. But I think what we've seen so far are the things that you worry about in rookies. You don't really get that from Victor Wembanyama. He's very professional about the way that he is so coachable. The way that he's just so willing to just he wants to be, he wants to play his role, but exceed his role. And I think just the effort, to bring up the Phoenix game and the San Antonio Spurs, they put out a win, man. They Greg Popovich on the post game, he said, we did make mistakes and everything, but the one thing that kept them in the game was the fact that they all just kept playing. They just kept playing, and that's what you want from your young group of guys. And I think that San Antonio is going to be a team that people should still pay attention to and not think lightly of when you see it on the schedule. Like them boys are coming to play and they're pretty tough. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, man, it is a Hall of Fame coach in Greg Popovich who knows the game, the ins and outs, and just he built that culture. Kind of almost like the heat of the West. I like to call him. It's just like an established, well-run organization, good coach. You know what he's there for, good developmental program. So that's why I'm like, wow. I will say I wasn't expecting them to be one of the top younger teams coming in. Like I was, my mind was more so like on like the Magic,
Thunder.
the Rockets. Like I
yeah,
like I like those young teams, but the Spurs, I was like, okay, they might make some noise. But seeing like I said, seeing that game where they came back on the Phoenix Suns, who's full of like veterans, people that's been in the game, people with championship pedigree
yeah.
that's used to the big moments, for those young cats to come out and pull off that win, man. It says a lot. Like you said, I could see them sneaking in the 7 or 8 seed and making some noise or giving somebody some trouble in the first round.
This is still without James Harden being on the Clippers lineup so far. But I think that this win for the Lakers was something that was probably must win. That's one of the biggest games out of the West is the Battle of LA. But out of just the two teams of the Clippers, Lakers, anything that has stood out for you guys just so far? I know it's still early, but still so far.
At least off of last night, I'll be as real and transparent as possible. That was the first Clipper game that I watched so far, and from what I'm seeing, man, like it looked like them boys is focused, man. The Clippers, if they stay healthy, I mean, and I feel like we've been saying this for like years since they got Kawhi and Paul George,
Yeah.
but I don't know, something feels different about this year. But I mean, Paul George coming out giving you 35 plus, Kawhi giving you 18 in the first quarter, breaking his I think like personal record for most points in the first. And then him ending up with like 30 something, and
Yeah.
then you got Westbrook with 20, 10, and 8, damn near triple double. Like those boys like came out balling, and I'm like, and the fact they still lost is why I'm like, okay, so the Lakers show that they can keep up, because you got 3 all-stars balling over here, and you guys still come out with the W.
Mm.
So yeah, no, both LA teams look good. I'm not counting them out, but I like how the Clippers are meshing well with under Ty Lue.
Yeah, nothing negative to say about them. I mean, I haven't watched the Clippers game yet. I am excited to see them healthy all year. I'm surprised with numbers like that they lost, especially to the Lakers, because I believe from what I've seen from the Lakers, the people who they just added have kind of underperformed. From my perspective, I mean, I don't know
Mhm.
what was expected of them, but people that they picked up for like Gabe Vincent, I saw that he was shooting a lot and wasn't making a lot, you
Yeah.
know, and he was taking these very confident shots like step backs and between the leg step backs, things like that, and he's missing, and it's consistent. Like I think a game he took. This stat might be wrong. I thought he took 9 shots and only made one, and I was like, well, they
Mhm.
they really they brought you on thinking you were going to really help them out. Like you got to do better than that.
I know I just have one team left I want to speak on. Obviously, my team are the Warriors. But did you guys have anything else before I get on with that?
No, you're good. I don't know if we touched on Bron and the Lakers, but I do feel like it's just worthy to bring out of everybody that was snapping last night. Like I said, Paul George with 35, Kawhi with 38, Westbrook with 24, 11, and 8, with 4
Jesus.
steals
Oh
on
my
top of that.
God.
That's just one side of LA. The other side, you got Anthony Davis with 27 and 10 and D'Angelo Russell with 27. So everybody in LA was balling, right? Everybody was balling. It was a crazy game. But out of everybody, all these all-stars turning up, man. The fact that LeBron got 35, 12, and 7
That's
in year 21.
that's
I
impressive.
mean, I'm just saying, man, like, come on, bro. It's
that's
unreal.
that's
Like,
impressive.
so
That's and
yeah,
that's
I
and
just nah,
that's
I had to
yeah, and I
bring 'em
don't
up.
think any less. That's the thing too. Is like I don't think any less, but I'm just the kind of player like I'm like, man, like I want to help LeBron out. I want to be the player to be like, dang, like I
Yeah.
feel like I need to step up and help him out. Like, he 21, bro, he shouldn't be doing this. Like, but yeah, so
Man.
I know the one last thing that I want to touch on is just my Warriors so far. I know previously, before the season started, I had an episode. Just my segment on them was just my doubts. I would say, to be honest, my doubts on just Chris Paul trying to fit into our system, and for what I've seen, it has worked beautifully. And I think the biggest thing is the fact that everyone is accepting a role. I think the communication there is so much better from last year, with the Draymond Jordan Poole situation. There's a big difference between our culture already in the locker room, and you could just see it on the floor. Like, yes, we know Draymond, or really Chris Paul in the Warriors. We've had beef with him for just years, just from the Clippers, Houston. Like, we just can't seem to get around him. But the fact that we have him is just. I know what it's like to be on. When you battle with somebody for so long, and you finally get on the same team with them. Like, it brings something more out of you. Like, it's just.
Yep.
And I think they're a winning culture, and I think that Chris Paul has finally found a team that he knows that he feels comfortable winning, and I think that's why he's accepting the role that he's at, because he knows. The Warriors came to play. They come to play. They got 4 championships. Like, why not hop on it? And I think my worry is still with size, not necessarily depth, but just our size still. To see the Warriors still play a small ball type lineup, even in today's league, is like surprising to me, because it still works. And I think
Yeah.
the only team that can make it happen for real is the Warriors. And I think that, I feel like they at least have a good shot at making a good making movement in the playoffs, and I guess we'll see further on, what happens. But so far in the very beginning of the season, I'm very proud of what I'm seeing so far from the Warriors, though. So far,
With the Warriors, I'm not gonna lie, man. I once again that when I saw that you guys traded for CP, I was like, CP and Steph. I don't think I like this. I don't know how that's gonna work. But boy, have they shut me up this season, man. Because I was speaking to one of my other homies about like just about Golden State, and he brought up a good point. He was like, Steph is really good off the ball. So now that you have like he may be even better off the ball than he is with the ball.
with the ball.
I mean that that I'll leave that for whoever. But so far it's working. And then I mean seeing Chris Paul come off the bench against the Rockets, like just seeing his dedication, his willingness to accept that role, like to credit your point, how you were saying earlier, Twan, is they seem committed, bro, and that chemistry is back in the locker room compared to last year. So and then there was a time they was running the league, man. So nah, I'm never gonna count that. I can't count out Steph,
It
man. He
wasn't that
got
long
four of them
ago.
things.
Like, it
So
wasn't that long ago.
This year, I'm looking at Curry and I'm like, you have honed in. Like his sword is so sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make sense that he was already so great and now I think he's even better.
And I'm like, bro, what I was saying, I'm like, man, that's what it looks like to be a superstar. Like that's what it looks like to be like a real leader of a team. And not only that, like if you're proclaiming being the best shooter, the best, you know what I'm saying, this and that,
Mhm.
show it. And like, bro,
He is.
man, it's like every game he's like on, and I don't think it's crazy to. I don't think it's crazy to speak on Steph and when it comes to the conversation with the MVP right now, just as of right now,
Mhm.
because I'm
Correct.
like, bro, like foot is on the pedal and he's not letting go, man.
One last team, of
Oh
course.
yeah, go ahead.
The young guns, man. The OKC Thunder.
Oh yeah, talk about him.
Man, oh man. Okay. Like, of course, we got cheated out of seeing Chet last year due to injury, unfortunately. But we still got to see a frisky, good, like young Thunder team, and that like with just Giddy, Shea, and Dort
Yeah,
and Jalen Williams, right? Seeing that they were in the play-ins, so they were, a scrappy team, and then you think, oh, Chet's coming too to add to that. So man, no, I've had a good time, like just like watching them play. I think as we had mentioned Wemby earlier, it's also right that we mentioned Chet. The kid is what averaging like 16 and like 2.5 blocks with like a couple boards. So like
yeah,
he's doing pretty good, and that's what I like seeing out of these young cats. Like just like what the Wembys and Chets of the world is like. They're just coming into the league
yeah,
like at a mature, like very mature, and like adjusting to the game, and they don't even have their weight up yet. Like
yeah.
like Jokic was saying, man, like yo, they got to get a little bit fatter. Like they're not even in the weight room, and they're doing their thing. So no, I just the Thunder look good. They're one of my other favorite teams to watch outside of my Rockets, man. But
For sure.
I'm looking forward to their season.
So I just want to go ahead and talk about one of the biggest things before we finish the episode. But one of the biggest news I feel like I feel like to start the season, I know one of the big ones was Chris Paul going to the Warriors. We had the big Bucks picking up Dame. Boston got Drew Holiday, but now Philly has finally got it worked out for James Harden to leave Philadelphia to go to Los Angeles Clippers to be reunited with Russell Westbrook, to be with Paul George, to be with Kawhi Leonard, and have their big man Zubac at the five. Um, James. So first, I don't want to just first speak on just James Harden going to LA, and then if we want to bring up Philly and where they stand now, we can speak on that as well. But just James Harden going to LA Clippers, do you guys see that being something that can work? Do you guys see that something that may not be able to, or how do you guys feel about Los Angeles Clippers with James Harden now?
I I personally feel like it didn't make too big of a splash. That's just my current sentiment. Like I have yet to be completely impressed by post Rockets. Uh,
James, I got you.
yeah, post Rockets James has not completely impressed me. I think he's more capable than he is competent. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he might have a 40-point game, but usually he's not going to have that. You know what I'm saying? I could expect that. There was that year that there was probably 4 or 5 games in a row he had 50 points.
Yeah, bro. Actually that years he was in Houston, bro. I didn't expect him to get any lower than 40, bro. Like it seemed like he was a
Exactly.
40 point like king,
Ching.
bro.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think, just post Rockets James Harden, he doesn't impress me. There was that one game in the playoffs last year where he had 40 on us when Joel was on the bench. He was hurt. And after that, I didn't really expect much from him. I definitely don't expect much defense. And there's just not much that I expect. So I think the Clippers are good without him. They'll be good with him. But with or without him, they'll be just about the same, I think.
I feel it, man. But I'm excited to see what Harden does. Just I know post Rockets, I'm just concerned about his like mental because as you know he wanted to come back to Houston, right? But apparently as we found out a couple weeks ago, he had that conversation with Ime Udoka was like, hey, I'm trying to come there and return back to being scoring champion. And Ime was like, no, sir, not on my watch. So they went ahead and moved up off of him. But
Yeah,
so that lets me know like the mentality that he's in is that he's more so focused on like scoring, being a scoring machine, which I don't think the Clippers need that considering you already have Kawhi, Paul George, and even Westbrook. So I think if they can get Harden to commit to how he was in Brooklyn when he was with Kyrie and KD, I mean the guy he's got what 2 assist leader champion or not championships awards, so we know he's capable of facilitating like a mug. I mean you got 2 Hall of Fame score or 3 Hall of Fame scores on your team. I think if you just hone in and pass, I think that's just going to be, I think that's going to work in his favor. Considering he's the third, fourth option, it's less pressure on him in the playoffs. More pressure on his legacy, though, considering he's adding Paul George and Kawhi to his list of players that he's playing with and doesn't have a ring to show for it. So I think this is their year to do it, bro. If not, uh, I think uh, I think they got rid of their future with the trade. Like all the picks and then like some of the folks they were getting rid of. I think they're like, hey, this is championship or bust. So we're gonna see how they mesh. But if they can get a facilitating James Harden, I think they can make it work.
Now, because of this trade, I know most people should already know the details for most, but Joel Embiid and the Sixers now, they did get rid of James Harden, but in return, they did get a lot of pieces and picks for the future, and almost could set themselves. And I'm pretty sure from this trade, they should be going into being Philadelphia should be one of the teams having the most cap space moving on into the next couple of seasons, just because of this trade. But Philadelphia, what do you guys have to say in regards for Joel Embiid and just that organization trying to figure it out? Do you think it'll be, or do you think this is in preparation for Joel potentially leaving, or do you guys feel that this may be, where this puts Philly in a predicament where it's like trust the process, man. We've been trusting for I don't know, and everyone's been gone, but Joel. It's like where did we go from here? Do you guys see? I guess my question would be for Philadelphia: is this what route do you think that they should go? I know we're not people in that industry, but it's just what we feel. But what do you guys think that Philadelphia should do in regards to that?
Process is over. Give it up. Hang it up, man. It's over with. I think the Sixers have the opportunity to be the OKC Thunder of the East. I don't know if people want to give that title to Boston already just because of the amazing job they've done with their draft picks and who they got. Look at their squad now. But no, I think Philly, I think they should look at getting rid of or not Harden, of Embiid, get some young pieces back. You got Batum, Covington, some Morris, the twin brother. You got some like decent veterans that you can get some young pieces or get some like swaps or anything like that. Like I think they put themselves or they gave themselves an opportunity to really just kind of start over, start fresh, build around Maxi maybe because Maxi is young and he's been balling out of his mind, this season with the absence of Harden and all of the turmoil that the Sixers have gone through over the years, with the Ben Simmons thing and the just recent Harden thing, man. He's still, he's staying strong and balling out. So I say, yeah, it's about time to hang it up on that process with Embiid.
But yeah, this episode 4, I just want to talk about the NBA opening week with my homeboy Jamaelo and Josh. I do appreciate you guys for tuning in with me and just talking a little bit of basketball. But we'll definitely get you guys on again soon. Other than that, man, I appreciate it, man. This is gonna be the end of the episode 4. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'm put my homeboys all their socials and stuff so you guys be connected. My homeboy does his streaming, Josh does his weightlifting and everything like that, so I'm gonna throw that in there.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, coaching fitness training.
It's all the above.
All the above. But until next time, y'all, appreciate y'all watching. Enjoy. Hope you guys have a good night. Peace.
Yes, sir.